Hey Dad, what's today's daily crypto news?
Well, another short video. This one's really short from Sandy Call over at Franklin Templeton. The video prior to this has the first video about her. But check out this headline. Read that for them, baby.
It says 1.5 trillion Franklin Templeton on CNBC. $100 trillion is coming to hashtag Bitcoin. Institutional floodgates may be wide open.
All right, so I want you to focus on something here. It says it's coming to Bitcoin is his title, right? These guys right here, they're Bitcoin maxis, and you know that because he puts hashtag Bitcoin and make it look like it's coming to Bitcoin. She doesn't say anything of the sort in the video because it's coming to networks of value, networks with utility. Now, Bitcoin might have a little bit of a part to play in that at first. If you know how it works, you know that it doesn't work. So unless there's some other plan to use it or make use of it, I can't imagine how it can function well in a financial system that expects speed, 24/7, 365 access and low fees. It has none of that. So if it doesn't have any of those features, I don't know how it coexists with networks that settle within 3 to 5 seconds, settle for a fraction of a penny, settle quickly, inexpensively, and they can be scaled very quickly and upgraded, whereas none of those things, none of those attributes pertain to Bitcoin itself. So I'm not sure how those two, they're counter to each other. It's counterintuitive. I also want you to focus on one of her choices of phrases. She says, these opportunities ripple out. Ripple. I mean, it always seems to pop out of people's mouths as if it's always in the back of their mind for some reason. And she's also going to remind everybody that cryptocurrency as a whole has only a $3 trillion market cap, a little more than that. And that's it. Now she's saying that about 100 trillion of finance assets, or financially managed assets are coming to crypto because it's all going to get tokenized, right? Mm-hmm. And so if it's all going to get tokenized and you're going to use stable coins as on and off ramps. Yes. What's an on and off ramp, baby? Do you know?
No.
Okay. It's how you buy in and how you sell out.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah. So you have, let's say you have 100 XRP, it's worth $5,000 bucks. Mm-hmm. And if you want to use those $5,000 are you going to use it in terms of XRP or are you going to want to cash in some XRP and use the dollar stable coin?
Yeah.
The dollar stable coin. Okay. So that's your off ramp. The on-ramp is to take your fiat, your stablecoin money, or your equal to $1 stablecoin, you put it into an exchange, and then you buy the digital asset, or you buy the stock, or whatnot. So that's your on and off ramp. And that's the big deal with stablecoins. And so there's a $100 trillion managed assets market coming in. There's also a much larger number in just money, physical money, or digital money in this case. And then there's still $600 trillion worth of real estate coming in. There's going to be intellectual property, all kinds of commodities, gold, silver, oil, pork bellies, all that stuff all that value is coming into these networks. And for the most part, I think the primary network is going to be Ripple. But there will be other winners. And for that reason, there's going to be maybe 20, 30 blue chip networks. Each of these blockchains is a network of value of its own, but it's got to interoperate with the other networks. There's going to be some DeFi networks, right? Like Flare or like Polkadot or like Cardano. And you need to interop, if you want to get certain yields in certain ecosystems, you're going to go to one blockchain or the other. And then eventually you're going to interoperate with something like a Ripple or an XLM. So let's take a quick look at her video. Let us know what you think in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, and bookmark it. And share it with your friends. Let us know what you think again, and we'll see you on the next one. Till next time, adios amigos.
I'm a big believer that people's understanding of these new opportunities and people's excitement about these new opportunities is really starting to ripple out from the original core sets of investors. And as more companies, as more asset managers, as more individuals, as more advisors become understanding and excited about this growth opportunity, that demand is going to continue to come in and expand the markets. Don't forget, crypto is still only looking at about a $3 trillion market cap. That compares to 100 trillion of assets that are being professionally managed. So there's plenty of room for this allocation and these interests to grow. And when there's incoming demand, that really does create a underpinning of support in a market that allows prices to really have that stability that lets them explore whether they can push higher.
And higher value.